Welcome back to the South End Zone. Nah, I'm kidding. We're adults. We'll figure it out. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen.
Our intent was to eat. Our intent was to come eat and be hungry.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.
I just hope I'm not keeping receipts so I can return this season when I get done.
Yeah, and we did not eat. We are still very hungry. And we did not eat. There's a lot left on the plate there in that one. Welcome back, everybody, to the South End Zone for one of the rarest times in the 2 to 3 year lifespan of this show. We went 0-2 on the weekend. Ole Miss beats LSU and Oxford, and we fall short to Alabama and Athens. And we're going to talk about all of it before we get into it. I want to let everybody to know to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Something tells me, I have a feeling this is going to be our most commented on, viewed video this season. I can feel it in my bones. We're going to have like 5,000 views and 10,000 comments. Tell us all to go fornicate with ourselves and everybody sucks and we all suck. And
listen to me. I spent a whole week in Europe. Shout out to Michael. Michael, you did a great job filling in for me. Thank you very much. Excellent work. And we'll have Michael back on again as well. But I spent a whole week in Europe. I'm watching the game at 9:30 at night Europe time from France, and got headphones on and watching it on the iPad while my wife sleeps next to me because she's not a sports fan. Watching all this stuff and everything, all of that just so that I could fly back home, get back to Baton Rouge Sunday night, and drive to where? Mississippi to go to work. And what do they have everywhere when I get to work this morning? LSU in blue and red all over, printed up all over. We got some LSU fans at the plant that I work at that I'm working in this week, and so they were giving them hell, and we're just it's hotty toddy left and right and all this other BS. So like straight into the lion's den. We do not shy away from criticism, from losses. We come right back on. We get on the air. We lick our wounds. We take our lumps. Bring the comments to us. I'm used to this. I did the same thing last year. I was working at a plant in Alabama. I went in there with my LSU hard hat on too. I don't shy away from it. I don't care. I'm still gonna wear. I'm repping the set now. I'm wearing black today. Because it's one of those kind of days. It doesn't feel good.
I put my black on too. I had my black on this weekend. It didn't work out.
This is Well, they didn't oblige like we hoped they would. We didn't see them rock the black when they walked out of the locker room. So it's just one of those weekends, Tyler. It happens sometimes. We're seeing now there's something about college football where it's more and more, and the expansion to the 12-team playoff couldn't have come at a better time, because more and more with NIL, the transfer portal, and then also with what I think we're seeing a greater emphasis, more and more teams. You saw Michigan do it. You saw Ohio State do it with Texas, Michigan and Oklahoma, LSU and Clemson, you guys in Clemson last year. There's more and more of these early season, Alabama, Florida State, Miami, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Then Notre Dame even goes to Arkansas this week. More and more of these programs are stepping up and actually playing a more significant out-of-conference schedule, to where just making it to where you can go undefeated just so that you get to be either voted national champion or get put in the BCS national championship game because you went undefeated or you only had one loss. Those days are gone. And with the NIL and transfer portal stuff, it's a good thing those days are gone, and we have a 12-team playoff now, hopefully maybe even expanding in years to come, because college football is looking more and more like the NFL.
Dude, the margins are so thin, bro. Especially in the SEC, the margins are razor thin with these games, bro.
And it's not just that. It's some teams just match up better against one team than another. It's not like it used to be where you just go line up and if you're better, you just win. You might be better, have more talent, whatever it is, but if you have like a deficiency that happens to be the one thing that your opponent can exploit, you can actually see that flip. And again, like you said, with those margins being like considerably thinner than they've ever been that we've seen from like the number 1 through 5 teams in the country to the number 17 through 35 teams in the country. That stuff is tightening up considerably, and it makes it to where these kinds of weekends unfortunately happen, and I think they're going to continue to happen. And we just want to make sure as we go through this, we want to recap everything, but we also want to like see if we can lead a little light down the tunnel to maybe a path to success for our two programs.
Absolutely. We're not going to sit here and feel sorry for ourselves. We're just going to be honest. And that's what happened. We both lost. Our teams both lost. We're going to talk about it. We're going to move on. And we're going to be honest about it. So would you like to go first or would you like me?
I can go first if you want. I know you have. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's let you go first because I think you've got more. I was in Europe. I didn't really get to watch much of the other games.
Yeah, let me take. So I was at the game.
I'll let you go first. You were at the game, and then I will give my Ole Miss LSU recap after that, and then you're going to kind of take it home with all the rest of the games.
We were both on. Funny enough, Chad and I are both on a trip. My trip was a road trip that ended in Athens, Georgia, for this game, and it was. Let me tell you something. Being in the stadium for your favorite team and with all the glitz and the glamour and all the tradition is like the only way I can describe it is euphoric. It was the most, even with the outcome up until zeros on the clock, I was bought in. It was so much fun. It was just unbelievable. And so college football, it just further cements why college football is the greatest sport, and there's nothing that tops it, in my opinion. Yes, we did lose to Alabama in Athens. Our 33-game win streak is no more. Home win streak is no more. Let's not waste any time. It was ugly. I shouldn't say ugly. It was just they got out and they controlled the game super early. We get the ball first. We go 3 and out. They then in this Alabama offense, like the way they ran their game plan on Saturday night was so like I feel like the Nick Saban teams, especially with the talent they had, dealt so heavily like in the explosives, or just like boom, deep shot, boom, big run, this, that. You know what I mean? The drives Alabama had in the first half of this game. The first drive they had 14 plays, 74 yards, 6.5 minutes, with 4 converted third downs, including 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 10. They score, we then take 4, we punt. They then once again 14 plays, 83 yards, 4 more third down conversions, and a 6:57-minute drive that started in the first quarter. We then we get the ball, we strike, 75 plays, 3 yards, touchdown. Chauncey Bowens, dog, was our best running back of the weekend. He and McCray did their parts this past weekend. We then throw a beautiful ball to Colby Young down the right sideline. He scores untouched. He makes a little one move and go. He goes. We throw it to him. It looked great. We then force a punt. I'm like, oh, shit. This could be the opportunity to get the ball. Nate Frazier then fumbles the ball on our own 9-yard line. Yeah. Not ideal for us. Luckily, though, we stand up. We hold them to just a field goal. And it's like, okay, the defense isn't dead. You know, we could have easily given them a touchdown there. We didn't. It's 17-7, whatever. We move on. We then have a great drive. Chauncey Bowens rips a 43-yard run within that. And I'll tell you what, it's hard to explain, but I feel like in previous years, and I'm talking like 4 or 5, even 6 years ago, maybe even later than that, like our running backs were always at risk of ripping off a big run. Sony Michel, Nick Chubb, Todd Gurley, DeAndre Swift, like that crew, James Cook. Like at any moment they could rip off a big run, and
Yep.
it could be the game. It could make a big difference in the game. We have not had that, even with Etienne and Frazier last year. It didn't feel that way, and it just to have Bowen's 3-star running back just ripping off these massive runs just felt right. You know, he catches the edge and runs on the sideline. It just felt nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then, dude, Ty Simpson, man, we could not get pressure on him no matter what we did. He was getting all the looks that he wanted. He'd even roll out and he'd throw one to a wide open receiver middle of the field. So Alabama drives down the field. I don't know if you saw this. They split Caden Proctor out
Yeah, I saw
wide,
him. Yeah,
and he gets a first down. And then Chad,
well, he almost scored.
right? He almost scored. And then Chad, in the end of the second quarter, they score their last points of the entire game.
Yep. And honestly, like, you guys should have stopped them from scoring even then.
Yep. Exactly. They score their last points of the entire game. It's the end of the second quarter, so half ends.
Mm-hmm.
They then get the ball to start the third quarter, second half. They drive down, shank a field goal left. Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh, now we go. Now we go. This is it. Boom. We run an awesome, like, it's so stupid, like how vanilla Bobo's offense is. And then we run like a cool fake reverse to Dylan Bell, and he keeps it, and he goes 43 yards down the field. I think we really don't use him enough, and it kind of makes me mad. And that's because of Bobo, in my opinion. Like, we just don't use the dudes that we have. We have dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just don't mix up our looks enough. We just simply do not. We get down there. Josh McCray was a transfer from Illinois. He's a stud. He gets hit on the goal line. Doesn't matter. He powers through, second effort, touchdown. We then go down 24-21. We turn Alabama over on downs after they try to run it with Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 minutes left in the third, with, clear, whatever you want to say, what they say, clear minds, full hearts, can't lose, whatever. Gunner throws one deep, 2nd and 9. To number 11, Taylor, freshman, drops the ball. Wide open in his hands. We got to just burn the number 11 and never let a wide receiver wear it ever again, man.
So, all right, but if we're going to talk about that drop, we got to talk about the Ryan Williams drop in the first half, though, too.
He did have that, too. No,
and I dropped one that was an easy touchdown.
Yes, it's true. I guess the reason it isn't such a big deal because they still scored on that drive.
Scored on that possession.
Yeah, they still scored on that drive, so it ended up like not killing them. Like, even though it could have been like, he had like a walk-off touchdown, like walk-in touchdown. Way early in the game, he dropped it. We, however, dropped that ball, and then our drive stalls out, and we punt. They punt right back to us, and that's the thing. Is like, we're getting the opportunities now. Like, the opportunities are coming to us to do something. And we're just not capitalizing.
Defense is finally stepping up and getting on the field.
Defense is making plays. Like, it's crazy because we're making plays without really pressuring Simpson. It's just like they're trying to run it more, and we're just like flying to the ball in the middle, and we're just not letting them move the ball on the ground on us. Like, I think they kind of like were trying to like not. They didn't want to turn the ball over to us because they knew that would be detrimental. So they never turned the ball over. Good on them. Whatever. We take over 2 minutes left in the third on our own 46, still down 24-21. Put together a drive. We get down to the Alabama 10-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
On 3rd and 3, Gunner keeps the ball, gets tackled short. And I shit you not, Chad, I literally turned to say something to my wife. I turn around, and the ball's already snapped because we did not opt to take the field goal to tie the game. We decided to go tempo out of nowhere with Cash Jones. And let me be very clear. Cash Jones is a great player. He is a great receiving running back and a great in pass blocking. He is not the guy you want to give the ball to on 4th and 1 with the game on the line. We split everybody out left. Everybody's out left. Cash is on. I think Gunner's left. And he comes, they hand it off. He takes the ball, runs in front of Gunner, And I guess we're just going to beat him to the edge and see what happens. Like, he's not slow, so, like, whatever. Our line gives way because Delp, like, blocks inside, so the end gets around because he doesn't pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
And so the end gets around, and then they get through. So they have two pretty much like, okay, who's going to get to the line of scrimmage first? 2 Alabama defensive linemen or Cass Jones. And so they get him, and we turn the ball over on downs literally on their 10.
And I said it to you in our little group chat where it's, you know, you can say all the things about what the analytics say and this and that, and maybe they didn't want to give them time, you know, give them the ball back with a chance to go down and score anyway, just get a field goal and win the game on a field goal or whatever. Bro, they didn't score the whole second half.
I have lots of thoughts.
To me, at that point, you've got to you've earned your way down into points. And so the fact that, and you told me that there was something about that apparently they called these plays back to back on third down.
In a press conference, I guess it was decided, like they were going to go, like they called those 2 plays. They were going to go tempo as long as the third down play was not negative. They were going to go for it. And I guess like they were trying to like in that same vein, Alabama had not scored. And so I don't know, maybe we were just going to try to apply pressure. And by the way, if we pick up those blocks for even a fraction of a second, like Cass Jones might get there.
Right.
You're on the 4th and 1. Like how it's like people are like, well,
execution is huge, right?
Execution is absolutely huge.
I still think though, in this situation, like I don't care what the analytics say. This is one of those things where I'm like, I don't care what the analytics say. It's tell the Boston Red Sox in 2004 about the analytics. No, you put Bill Miller in, he gets a knock. You sub Dave Roberts in. Dave Roberts steals second base. Now you have a runner in scoring position, and you have a chance to win the game. That's how you. There's certain situations where that's what you do. You don't just leave Bill Miller standing on first base and don't pitch run for him and don't try to steal that base, because the analytics say don't steal bases back then because sabermetrics was telling everybody stealing bases is stupid. You're wasting outs. Just leave him on base and let people slug him in. Well, yeah, aggregate over the course of a million simulations, yes, the percentages are probably with that. But in that situation, no. And so, like, in this situation, forget about the aggregated stats. It doesn't matter what the simulations tell you what the smart play is there. You run a play that you're trying to get the first down on third down, right? But then because of the time left in the game, the situation you're in, how your defense has played the entire second half, and the fact that you have a problem, a bugaboo with Alabama and this sort of situation, why would you give them the momentum back? You take the points. At that point, you're still riding the momentum of like, bitch, you're in our house. You got to come take it from us in overtime now. Instead, it's we're in our house, and so we're going to try. And I could even understand more if the next play is 4th and 1, pound it.
Right, exactly. So that's what people
running a fullback around the edge or whatever. It's like,
even fucking call it like you don't have to go tempo there. If we're really going to say we're going to take it and we're going to shove it down your throat, that's fine. There's a lot of different ways to think about this, and everybody has their opinions. Take the points, change the play. It's pretty much the consensus is don't do that. Don't do what we did on 4th and 1 on their 10.
It's the same thing that I'm going to talk about in a minute about our 2-point conversion.
Yeah, like simply don't do that. Like there was Johnny Manziel was on with Shannon Sharp and Ocho. He's like, where's the 5-star running back? Shit, I don't know. He fumbled the ball early in the game and didn't go back in. You have Chauncey Bowens, 3-star, and you have Josh McCray, the transfer. Even if it doesn't even matter if Alabama knows we're going for it. Are you push, read option, something. Yeah. Like you have Gunnar Stockton who can also move. I'm getting loud now. Right. Who can also move the ball. And once again, no disrespect to Cass Jones, but you are not setting him up for success in his strengths to make that game. You are simply not. That's not what he's good for. And he'll tell you that. Everybody else will tell you that. We have two horses. Stack the box and let us just get a yard. If that's what we want to do, that's what we're going to do. We could do that so many different ways. We have the talent. But if we're not going to do that, just take the points.
Yep.
Like, and I'm sorry for getting loud, but I'm reliving the night. I was there. It was, it was there. It was a lot to take in. And I'm telling you, Chad, I literally turn to my wife and I say something, and I turn around, the ball is already snapped. And I'm like, what? The Alabama fans in front of me didn't even realize what happened either. Like, it just was like, we all were just like, what? Is that what we really just did? Like, it was insane. So we turned the ball over, and we turned the ball over. Reality was we're taking the points, whatever. We talked about that. And so they take 5 minutes off the clock, but then they punt back. We then, with 8-10 on our own 5, with all of our timeouts, we go all the way down to our own 49. Let me say it again. 8-10, our own 5. Okay. Yep. We don't get the fourth. We have a chance to avenge our bad play calling on the 4th and 1.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time. All of our timeouts. We're at home at night, down 3. We get all the way up to our own 49, and then on 3rd and 9, we decide to get the ball back to Cass Jones to get stopped for a loss, and we punt. 2:52, Alabama has the ball left. They move the ball. 3rd and 5, Jam Miller, first down. And it's just so crazy, like, to watch him fall down and realize, and that's just it. That's how the game ends. And we lose to Alabama in Athens. And our home winning streak that has stood since 2019 ends. And the Kirby Smart can't beat Alabama train rolls on. Because once again, he literally has more national titles than wins against Alabama.
It's crazy.
And
one of those national titles is because it's his.
He's the only win to Alabama. He's the only one against
he could still have more wins against, or more national titles than wins against Alabama, and have 0 national titles if they hadn't won that game.
Yeah, dude. It's just terrible, bro. It's so terrible. And so, and that's just kind of how it ends. There's a lot of people have a sour taste in their mouth, mine included. And it's just that thing persists. And it's kind of crazy, like, what voodoo magic happens in college football that, like, makes these storylines continue to happen. Yeah, it's like, Kirby can't beat Bama. James Franklin can't win the big game. Like, it's just like all of these things just continue to happen.
And it's what I say a lot about. And so this goes back to the thing with when you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, or in some cases 17-year-olds and 38-year-olds, or whatever, some of these Chris Winkie types or whatever. But, like, typically it's 18 to 22-year-olds, right? And more and more the good ones, it's 18 to 21, because they're not sticking around for their 4th year. I think a big part of how you achieve success is by how you can manage what you're talking about from a psychological level with kids that age. I think that's part of what Nick Saban's secret sauce is that he got a bunch of 18 to 21, 22-year-olds to buy in to this mentality of not trying to do other people's job for them, working cohesively by me dominating my role and not worrying about the other guy's role and overcompensating or anything like that. And then, like, not dealing with these emotional ups and downs, and actually being able to keep that even keel. And, like he said, not eat the rat poison of listening to your own press clippings, listening to the bad news about the other team, listening to whatever the case may be, not listening to the crowd noise even, and just not letting yourself get overly emotional. Yes, celebrate the wins and get hype and get, energized, play with energy, play with intensity, but not to let yourself get up and down with these emotional things. And I think that's part of it. If you have this kind of a problem, and LSU's had it without, I mean, hell, look, if we're being honest, everybody had this problem with Alabama. That's the thing. That's what, like, it's kind of funny. You know, we have this, there's the narrative about that with Kirby Smart in Alabama. The reality is it's more of a Kirby Smart, Nick Saban thing, and it's carried over a little bit because it's still a lot of Nick
Apparently not
Saban's
anymore.
players.
Apparently
No.
not
But I'm
anymore.
saying it's still a lot of the players Nick Saban recruited who are there, and the culture that he had instilled still has a little bit of itself there in those guys. The veteran leadership that they're getting that got them to stop doing the dumb shit that they were doing week 1 with Florida State, where they looked like they were a shell of themselves. I guarantee you it's those juniors and seniors and 5th-year seniors who are getting everybody on the same page. But yeah, I mean, it's still there's something like, I don't know what it is, but it's like you walk out there and you see those uniforms and it just hits different for some reason.
Yeah, they can't
And it
even
gets into people's
even
heads.
with our own crowd behind us. Like
Yes.
it's still like, and it's just like these weird play calls only happen in games like this. It's like, oh, well, now we're gonna we take the points most of the time. We took the points against Tennessee when I wanted us to actually 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Funny enough, we took the points when I wanted us to try to go for it deep in their own territory.
And I told you then, like,
yes,
no, man, take the points.
and it worked out.
Good.
So like,
yeah.
So it's just weird, and it's like, I don't know, Kirby seeing ghosts, and it's like the weird thing, right? Like when Will Muschamp coached at Florida, we always called him Special Agent Muschamp because no matter what, he couldn't beat us.
Yeah.
You know, and so because he obviously Georgia guy. And so who knows? I mean, I'm never gonna shit talk Kirby Smart, but it's just like the same thing. It's like, is Kirby the secret agent for Alabama? No, he just like sees ghosts whenever he coaches against them for whatever reason. And Bobo has to go, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of it, Chad. I know, like, I'm just so tired of it. Like, we will never be a really super competitive football team with him as our OC.
Yep.
That is the bottom line. Like, because when our defense picks it up, our offense has to as well. And what's crazy is like the few shots we took downfield, we connected on. Like the few true downfield, other than like that drop ball. Like, but once again, we dialed it up and it was open. Like it just didn't catch it. Like I don't know why we get so scared of our own shadow when it comes to like actually just being aggressive on offense.
No, the worst thing though to me, the cardinal sin is like you ran the ball for 225 yards on Alabama and you couldn't beat them.
Yep.
Like how do you do that? Well, are you ready for me to take over? Because
yes, my blood pressure is getting high.
We did not run for 225 yards because apparently we cannot run the ball. And by cannot run the ball, I mean we refuse to try to run the ball. I'm gonna just pull up some stats here real quick because I've got some stuff to say about some of the things that could have made this game turn out differently from how it did, but it did turn out the way it turned out, and LSU has no one to blame but themselves for why it turned out the way that it did. I will say this. Before I get into all that, let me just say this. I talked about it earlier. I'm in Mississippi, dealing with, work and people who are giving me all kind of crap this week about this game. And they are super happy to see me this week because they get to talk their shit. And it's fine. Like, absolutely talk your shit because I will stand here hand on heart. I underestimated the quality of that team, the talent that they have on that team. Granted, I think they don't have the pro studs like they did last year.
No, but they're playing.
Walter
They're
Nolan
better.
and Princely Amanuelan and I almost said Tori Amos. Trey Amos. Tori Amos is a different person. She's a chick who sings. But anyway, Trey Amos and Trey Harris and all those guys, right? So like they had dudes last year that that they don't have this year. Chris Paul, another one, stud linebacker that they had last year. So, but they have more talent than I thought, and they may be like somewhat for real. I still think they're going to have an issue if they play a team like you guys, and you guys actually run the ball the way that you ran it against Alabama and actually stick to a game plan that leans into your strengths and doesn't go away from them. And hopefully Bobo either calls a good game or gets the play calling duties taken away from him, which is another thing I'm going to talk about, because I think Michael nailed it right on the head. Brian Kelly needs to take over the play calling duties, because Joe Sloan, I don't know what it is, but it's like there's so much window dressing and all changing personnel and all this stuff. It reminds me of when Gary Croton was at LSU years ago, and he would have like 4 different dudes in the backfield running the ball, but it was like, if this guy was in the backfield, they were running these 3 plays. This guy was in the backfield, they were running these 3 plays, and you could kind of telegraph who, or you if they were telegraphing, if you were the defense, you could pretty much pick up on, based on who was in the backfield and the formation, like what we were doing. If Trenton Holiday was in the backfield, it's draw play to Trenton Holiday, him running across the formation the other way on like some sort of sweep, or him running a wheel route. That was it. Those are the 3 plays that you're going to run. You weren't going to just play action pass and throw the ball to somebody else. That was not going to happen. Why? I don't know. But anyway. So the inability to run the ball is the first problem that this team has. So I'm going to get into some stuff that I think is going on with Nussmeier that they don't want to talk about, and that concerns the hell out of me. But as or more concerning is the fact that the offensive line doesn't seem to be able to effectively push people off the ball consistently. But I'm almost less concerned with that than I am with the unwillingness to try to help them to get into a rhythm. So this is where I'm going to pull the stats in. So let me show you what we're dealing with here. This is our box score. We had, where's our stats? Sorry, I thought I had the box score already pulled up. I did not. Okay, here you go. Harlem Berry, 7 carries, 22 yards. Juwan Johnson, 6 carries for 18 yards. Now, that doesn't seem great, right? Caleb Jackson, 1 run for 10 yards. Then you have Barryon Brown, 1 for 9. Xavier Thomas, 4 for 7. And Garrett Nussmeier, 2 for -7. One of those was a sack. The other one was a short run of 1 yard. But here's the thing. This is 14 rushing attempts total by running backs in the entire game. 14. This one, Caleb Jackson's 10-yarder, was on 3rd and 20. We ran the ball on first down, I don't know, maybe 3 times the whole game. And I don't have a problem with throwing the ball a lot on first down. I think you need to throw the ball on first down some to open the offense up and keep a defense honest. But if you refuse to run the ball on first down, because what we're doing, those numbers don't look great, but if you look at when the running attempts were happening, it was like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 2nd and 3, these types of things where like they're kind of geared up to, okay, let's bring a few more people up. And we're doing this. They're running a 3-man rush and dropping 8 in coverage, and we're not running draw plays. Like, what are we doing? Like, there's ways, even if it's QB draw. I know Garrett Nussmeier, he's got something going on with him, and he's not a great runner, but like, for crying out loud, when they're rushing 3, it ain't that hard to allow the edge rusher just push him upfield and make him go the long way around and double team the nose tackle, and then have Garrett Nussmeier run right underneath that and pick up 5 yards. Okay, cool. You want to keep rushing 3? We're going to do this all day. But no, what do? We continue to drop back, and apparently Tyree Adams Still couldn't block one of the three dudes. So we're sitting here against an 8-man in coverage, 3-man rush. We're trying to throw the ball into windows with like 3 defenders in there, and everybody's criticizing Garrett Nussmeier, saying he doesn't know what he's doing, he's terrible, and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, you can't scheme throwing the ball on every down or almost every down, and your quarterback he's got a core problem or a shoulder, pec, something like that, lat, oblique, somewhere in there where he's not able to drive the ball like he used to. And I don't know what's going on there, but he's trying to fit the ball into these windows that if you don't have that zip on it, it ain't going to work. So anyway, I'm going to, just to show you what I'm talking about, here is, let's, I don't know what the hell's going on with my throat, drying up here. Let's see. This is it. This is last year in August. That's Garrett Nussmeier throwing the ball deep to Chris Hilton. Okay, so let's watch it one more time. Zoom. You see how he just like free and easy just launches that ball.
Pop.
Yeah. So let's switch to this one, because and even the necessary or unnecessary roughness folks saw this one. So you see the zip and the just like launch on that ball. Now watch this one. Chris Hilton's wide ass open. That's a touchdown. And what does he do? It looks like he's shot putting the ball. The ball's like wobbling and floating. Has no zip on it. And that is not Garrett Nussmeier just misjudging and underthrowing him. No, he can't throw the ball any farther than that.
You can almost see it's crazy. You can't even see his face, but it looks like a winch. Like he's like a full body winch.
Yeah.
Like as he's trying to like get that ball just somewhere in his direction. It's crazy. Like it's like he comes off his back foot and it's just like, it's weird.
So if you know this about your quarterback if he's having an issue and then he comes out and does what he does against Southeastern last week, where he looks better, I'm just like, don't talk about the injury. Keep it under wraps for Ole Miss. And whatever. I don't know what kind of trouble you might have to be in with the injury report or anything, but if apparently this thing started in August and you've been limiting his pitch count throughout fall camp because of it, then not reporting it week 1, 2, 3, or 4 wasn't a problem. Why is talking about it in press conferences now a thing you feel like you need to do? Keep that under wraps and then help him out by running the ball. Try to establish the run game, and you can't do it by doing the same thing over and over again. You've got to mix up your run looks, and I don't mean by bringing receivers in and letting them run jet sweeps. I'm talking about like using your dynamic running backs. You've got a 5-star stud, Harlan Berry, who when they finally put him in and let him run the ball, he busts off a couple of runs, and the next thing you know, we're in the end zone and cutting the lead to what ended up being a 5-point lead because we decided to go for 2. So let's talk about that. We go for 2. And I'm not even going to get into all the other stuff. Like there was just little things throughout the game that just bugged the hell out of me. But it was a general theme of when you're just throwing the ball on almost every down and you're not trying to establish the run game, you can't say like we can't run the ball, because we don't know if we can run the ball, because you can't run the ball 2 times out of 10 plays. And then if they're not successful, say, well, we can't run the ball. That's not how running games work. A lot of teams, like you watch it with like the Titans and Derrick Henry, and even now the Ravens with Derrick Henry. It's 11 carries for 36 yards, and then the 4th, 5th, and 6th carry, or I mean the 12th, 13th, 14th carry are 14 yards, 27 yards, and then a 40-yarder. You've got to establish that rhythm, let your offensive line get into that mode of blowing people off the ball. instead of backing up into pass pro every single play and then like one play having to fire off of it. No, like let them get into a rhythm. Get out there and like establish like, no, we're gonna run it. We're gonna run it 3 straight times, even if we have to punt. Especially early in the game when you're up by a touchdown. You actually have like the freedom to play this however you want to play it, and now you can actually start to establish your run game. So that was the big theme for me is I think, yes, there probably are some offensive line issues in terms of like somewhat in pass protection because there were a lot of hurries and pressures, even with a 3-man pass rush most of the time. But also running the ball, I do think, though, that some of the problem with running the ball is because of lack of commitment. And it's not necessarily just talent or uh, chemistry or anything like that. Yes, there's some chemistry work that needs to be done. These guys are all playing with each other for the first time ever, and it's their 5th game playing together. So I get it, but you're not allowing them an opportunity to establish themselves in that. So there's that. Then there's the Garrett Nussmeier injury. Then there's the play call with the 2-point conversion. I don't know what the hell we're thinking. We bring Jawan Johnson in, who's like a quarterback, high school quarterback, converted to running back. He was playing linebacker and DB, back to receiver, then like to running back again, and very talented athlete, really good running back, really good pass catcher out of the backfield. When I see them running him in motion, and we're on the short side of the field, like we're on the left hash, and he comes from the left slot and runs in motion around Nussmeier to the right, and then motions back the other way. I'm like, what are we doing? Why is he going back that direction? That's towards the short side of the field. There's nothing over there but red jerseys where it's going to get stuffed. When I first saw him go in motion, I was like, oh, this might be actually kind of dope. They're going to hit him running away from Nussmeier. He's going to pitch it to him, and then he's going to have like a run pass option because he was like 10,000-yard passer in high school, right? So like, all right, here we go. And then he cuts back the other way. And of course he gets stopped 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage on a 2-point conversion because there's a stupid play. Like there, I don't know in any universe where that's the play that you run when you're going to go for 2. I also have a little bit of a problem with going for 2 at that point anyway, because I know it was somewhat late in the game, but I feel like you're at a point where the way that the game flow had been going, there's a chance that you could actually be trading scores for a couple of possessions. And we see it often where like 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, you go for 2. And a lot of teams will do it. They'll do it like in the 2nd or 3rd quarter. And they're going for 2 to try to like increase the lead to 8 or, cut the lead to 7 or whatever it is. And I just don't understand it because you end up wanting those points back. That 1 point that you could have gotten could have been a big difference. And then like at the end, it was kind of the same thing that I felt like you were describing where you've got a chance. They almost Lane Kiffined it. Trinidad Chambliss, and shout out to him, like Ferris State to like starting for Ole Miss and playing like big time SEC football and launching his team into the top 10. It's pretty cool to see. Congrats to him and congrats to them for that. But he made a bonehead play running out of bounds with 1:47 left. And it's 3rd. It should have been 3rd and 6, but for some reason they gave him 3 yards of progress when he stepped out behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 5. And it should have been 4th and 6 instead of 4th and 3. But it's 4th and 3, and they come out. And when Greg McElroy can tell you what they're about to do and they're about to go to the big tight end, like somebody needed to be guarding that dude, and he was just wide ass open. And it's the same thing. Like he catches the ball, he runs, and then like when he like gets 20 yards downfield, he just like lays down. You're like, yeah, that's about right. That's how it feels. So so we kind of choked one away there too, and I think we have far more talent, far more draftable talent on our roster than Ole Miss does, and yet we still, you go play on the road in the SEC. This is the kind of thing that is possible, and you've got to do the things that you need to do in order to prevent that from happening, because you can't just walk into these places and walk out unscathed. if you don't come ready to execute and play to the best of your ability, you're gonna end up taking an L. Now, that's all of the it's on LSU stuff. I will say this. Ole Miss committed like over 100 yards worth of penalties. This is their MO. This is what they do. So I get it. So I'm not gonna complain too much about officiating. What's frustrating to me though is I'm watching this game where it's 7-3. It's like middle of the second quarter, and you see a receiver and a DB. It's our freshman DJ Pickett. He's going down there. They're hand fighting. Receivers pushing off, arm barring Pickett. They're just kind of they're hand fighting. They're doing like this is like normal, damn near every single passing play, right? They're hand fighting. Now, if you just show the last half second of that clip, does it look like pass interference? Of course. If you show more of that where they're hand fighting for the last 10, 15 yards of that throw or of that route, then it looks like a no call because the throw is way off. The receiver's nowhere near it. DJ Pickett is actually the only one who puts eyes on the ball. And a 71-yard pick six that makes it 14-3 LSU turns into a PI that then is followed up by another PI that was questionable. That was also like a kind of a hand fighting, maybe, it was very no callable. And the reason why I say it's very no callable is because later on in the game, when we're trying to come back and score, Chris Hilton goes up for a ball, one arm, because the other arm is being held by the defender. No call. We have one in the back of the end zone, same thing. And they're turning around looking at the referee, and he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they show the replay, and it's like the dude's all over him, holding his arm back. Like, when you're not even making a play on the ball, and the other guy makes a play on the ball after you've been hand fighting, for that to be called PI, and then for you to not even turn around and look at the ball and just hold a guy's arm so he can't make a catch, and for that to not be called PI is just like I don't even know what pass interference is anymore at either level, the NFL or the college level, because it's just one of those arbitrary things that they can influence the outcome of a game very easily by. And it's also frustrating to watch the broadcasts and to watch them just explain stuff away and like completely ignore things that I can see with my own eyes while they're happening and don't even talk about them.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
so
at the end of it all, we got it off our chest, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We bookmark it. Actually, no, we set it on fire. We move on. We forget it ever happened.
Right.
We look forward to the games ahead. The season's still early, and like you said, 12-team playoff. A lot of things can happen. There was a lot of other great games this past weekend, but with Chad being out of the country and me being, in Athens and among everything going on, it was hard to, really watch a lot of football. However, Oregon did play at the exact same time as us. This game was 3-3 at halftime, and then quickly Oregon goes up 17-3, and you think, oh, that's it. They're dead. Penn State's dead. Not so fast, my friend. Drew Allen throws a great ball downfield for a touchdown. They then followed up with another one to tie it. And then we go to overtime. And Penn State gets the ball first. They score. Dante Moore on the following Oregon possession, Moore fumbles and picks up his own fumble.
Yeah.
So they almost lose the game there. They don't. They score, and then flip side, Oregon, one play, all you need. They score, and then Drew Aller doing, well, what I like to call Drew Aller things, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Throws a pick on the first play of their second overtime possession. And that's all she wrote. And it's crazy because Dan Lanning is quoted as saying that crowd is usually worth 7 points, but that one's playing us. Literally, like, he's crazy. Like, he talks shit like I've never seen people talk shit in the public eye. Oregon, at the end of the game, is literally waving goodbye to the whiteout student section, and everybody in Happy Valley is now sad. And just like how Kirby Smart can't beat Alabama, James Franklin can't beat a highly ranked opponent. And I wish I had the stats in front of me. If I was a good journalist, I would have that. but I think James Franklin is like something like 1 in 15 or 1 in some double-digit number against like top 6 opponents or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like insane. And that narrative keeps going on. They had them. They had a chance. They almost didn't have a chance, and they then bring it back, right? And then to just throw the game away just like that. Do I say that we are now 4 for 4 on our pump the brakes miniseries?
We in fact are 4 for 4 because I try to be a little more prepared than you are, so I actually have the stats for this game. I don't have the James Franklin stat that you're referring to. But no, so here's what we're talking about. We talked about it before the season when we did our pump the brakes on Drew Aller. Dude does not throw for 200 yards. Like, it's just not in his DNA. Like 300, hell no. But 200, it's a crapshoot. 14 for 25, 137. He did have the 2 touchdowns. Of course, one of those is in overtime, so you don't have to go that far to throw a touchdown pass in overtime. And then the one INT that was a killer. But yeah, I mean, Dante Moore just much more effective. And I don't know what it is. Like, some of these schools just like keep churning out these QBs, and Oregon is another one. Like they either go get one, Dylan Gabriel, or they grow them on their own. And I don't know. We've LSU has kind of started to do that. I mean, we do have 2 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks who are pretty studly in their own right, but we have one now that is pretty hurt. But Drew Aller is not hurt, but he's still doing Drew Aller things at the end of games to lose them, and not doing the Drew Aller hype things that we told you he wasn't going to do, because we didn't believe the hype and we didn't understand where it was coming from, because this is a typical Drew Aller stat line. 14 for 25 for 137 is a standard Drew Aller pass stat line.
You know how Penn State doesn't lose that game, Chad? They realize that Bo Perbula is better. Don't let him transfer and start him.
I mean, hey, listen, man, I'm with you on that.
Saying, man.
Devontae Ross caught 4 passes. Trevor Pena caught 2 passes. Every other pass was caught by a tight end or a running back.
And that's the point that it's been made. It's like, well, you got all these receivers, and guess what? It's the exact same offense, actually worse, because you don't have Tyler Warren.
So people in the comments from the Penn State video, come back and tell me about how it was the receivers last year who are now playing better for their teams that they're playing for now with other quarterbacks, because they left.
Dan Lanning is building something special over there.
He is.
And he is part of, like, I don't know what you want to call it, the new breed, the new generation of coaches. I guess you could say he is leading the charge, as every year Oregon's going to be there. The Ducks are going to be there, and they're just going to keep getting better and keep being good. And that's, hey, more credit to them. Yep. Penn State had it, and they lost it just like that. And you know what? They'll still be in the playoff anyway, because they play in the Big Ten. Friday night fireworks, Chad, in Charlottesville, Virginia.
This was supposed to mean that Alabama wasn't any good.
No, this was so. Let me. Who knows? Like, I was like, "What does this mean? The numbers, Chad. What do they mean? I don't know." What, like, but all this, like, this is what makes college football amazing, because it doesn't have to mean anything.
More and more like the NFL now is because
it doesn't have to mean anything.
This sort of stuff used to only happen when it was like, the number 28 team against the number 36 team, and then the number 42 team against the number 20. Like, it would, one team would beat one team, and the other team would beat the other team, and then the other team would beat the other team, and you have this like circular property thing going on where, like, I don't know, they all beat each other, but they're all kind of mediocre, so it doesn't matter. It wouldn't happen at the top. Now it happens at all levels.
What's crazy about this game is Virginia, 30 years ago from the day of that game, Virginia upsets Florida State on a Thursday night in Charlottesville when Florida State's like number 2 in the country in 1995, right? And UVA says, we're going to wear the throwbacks from that exact game. Like, the balls to be like, we're going to wear commemorative jerseys from like the time we inexplicably upset you.
Talk about calling your shot, right?
Literally, like, we're going to wear, like, with the V saber, or excuse me, like the block V on the shoulder and everything, not the V saber, on the shoulder, and they They take care of business, and it was so awesome. And Castellanos, listen, something that'll be lost to history is like Virginia was up late, and Castellanos had a lead to drive down the field to tie it, and he makes this throw like while being tackled like that for a touchdown, unbelievable, to tie the game, and they go to overtime, and then Virginia takes the lead, and so Florida State has to match, and it's crazy, right? Deuce Robinson, their best receiver, they throw him the ball in the end zone, and it's like he literally bobbles the ball for quite literally 11 yards. I don't know if you saw it, but like the ball
I was in Europe. I didn't see anything.
It's okay. The ball hits him in the chest like at the start of the goal line, right? And it's like in his chest, and he steps out of bounds out the back without ever having and they slow it down. There is 0 points at that time that he actually had possession of the ball.
Control of the ball. Wow.
So they don't give him they don't, obviously it's not a touchdown. And then Florida State throws it to the back of the end zone. Virginia half intercepts it, half doesn't, whatever. And what's crazy is as Florida State's overtime possession is happening, UVA student section is like a lawn. It's just a lawn on the one side. It's a great, cool stadium. I've been there to watch some games. UVA's stadium is a lawn, and so they already have the kids over that and literally up against the goal, the back of the end zone. They're standing right there, right? And it's so crazy. The ball hits the ground, and literally you just see this Florida State receiver disappear in this mob of this mob of fans, students rushing the field. Norvell can't even go. I don't even know if he could go shake the Virginia head coach's hand because they're on the field so fast. And it's what makes college football so great. UVA wins in double OT, and it was just so awesome. So shout out to the Who's, man, getting that taken care of.
Yeah, for sure.
Texas A&M somehow only wins by 6 after having 400 yards of offense to Auburn's 150 something. That's crazy.
They only scored 16 points.
That's what I mean. They had 400 plus yards of offense, so 16 points to show for it. Don't know how that's possible, but that's some Texas A&M stuff for you if I ever seen it. Like I said, this is rapid fire, folks. Chad and I were very busy this past weekend.
Yeah.
Tennessee
found a way to get it done.
Found a way to get it done in overtime. Aguilar, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Chad, the interception problem was a problem for him at App State.
Shouts to Jeff Lebby. Going into Starkville is not a walk in the park.
No, it's not. He's brought them back. Mike Leach passes away. The program is lost for a while, but they seem to have found their way. They almost get it done, and now they might be back. Who knows? It'd be great to have him back. Compete in the SEC.
You know who is back? Bobby Petrino.
Bobby Petrino is back, ladies and gentlemen. We've literally come full circle since what was that 2007, I think, right? With the neck brace and everything.
Was it him in 07? We had 07 was Houston Nutt, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong.
Was that?
I don't remember.
Might have been before that.
It's been too long. I'll have to go back and look at the.
Yeah,
but
I apologize.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. He's back.
He's back.
Arkansas can't defend the pass. The amount of I don't know if you saw the highlights, but CJ Carr literally they might as well have just lined up against no one.
It's why I thought Ole Miss wasn't any good.
Yeah,
it's what the hell,
Arkansas just can't defend the pass whatsoever. Even though Jeremiah Lamont has a great game. Robbie Ashford of Wake Forest, they try to call game against Georgia Tech. They have him on the ropes, and in overtime, which, given the circumstances, the teams involved, and who Wake Forest is versus Georgia Tech, I honestly don't hate it because if you just keep trading back with Haynes King.
So we talked about before about the Georgia kicking the field goal versus going for the touchdown. There's some times where you want to play and maintain momentum. Brian Kelly going for 2 against Alabama made sense.
You got to call game.
You want to call game. I get it. There's a time where we were playing Tim Tebow and Aaron Hernandez and all those guys the year after. It's we had won a natty. then they won a nat. I think it was '08, the year they won their second natty in 3 years. They came to Baton Rouge. We had the ball on the goal line, fourth and inches, like on the goal line. And we kicked the field goal. We made the field goal. So like, I'm not like bitching because we missed the field goal or something stupid like that. Like, no, my thinking at the time before we even kicked the field goal was like, no, you go for this. You either pin them back on the 6-inch line or you punch one in. Either way, you're telling your team and your offensive line and your running game, I trust you and I trust this defense. We're going for it. You know what I mean? We're going to, because that's the first possession of the game. Like, you're establishing something at that point. When you're in a situation like you guys, I'm like, take the points because you've held them scoreless the whole second half. Give yourself the momentum of like, okay, now we reset the game right now. It's our game now. Instead, you gave it back to Alabama by going for it and not getting it. In this case, they're trying to call game. Like, we either win or we lose, and they ain't no momentum. It's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, you're not going to get into a 2-point fest with Haynes King. You're just not.
Yeah,
like,
and to your point, knowing who Georgia Tech is and who Wake Forest is, that's probably their best shot all night to win the game.
You got to call game, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I would, if I was in the same situation, I would do the same thing. You got to just end it there.
Yeah, so this is exactly what we're talking about. This is where screw analytics. There's a feel and there's a gut. Like you have to know as a human being the difference between, I don't give a shit if you run the simulation 9 million times and it says you should kick the extra point 56.3%, so therefore you should kick. Like, the other 44% of the time is why you do this. And I don't care that they lost. Like, I shout to them for doing the right thing. They did the right thing and it cost them. They lost, but they still did the right thing.
Right, and that's what they go out on. Like, they gave it a shot, play broke down, whatever. But like, you try to take the game there. Like, I don't hate that at all.
Yep.
It's a Big Ten fun. Indiana beats Iowa, yay! And Indiana gets to do the little hardball intentional safety at the end of the game.
Yo, speaking of that, did you see you know what the line was in this game, right?
No.
6.5.
Oh.
And dude could have like gone down at the 20. And
there were zeros the whole, like, there were zeros for the hottest for like quite a long time.
Even if you say like, oh well, no, but that was, if there was a penalty, then they could have like no, because it is still your ball. Like, if there's a penalty, it's not going to be, unless somebody
was fourth down,
take somebody's head off or something.
Yeah. It was
fourth down. Yeah,
it's crazy. And then, hey, Illinois rights the ship, takes care of USC in Champaign.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is Indiana really good? Who knows what the Big Ten is at this point? All we know is that Oregon it's Oregon and Ohio State, and it's probably just Ohio State. We'll see. That was kind of a rapid fire end of the week.
And I don't know. Like, I think that's, but it's definitely, you've got 3 teams at the top of the Big Ten, and then the rest of it is, I'm not quite sure. We're going to see with, like, when it comes to the SEC, like, how deep is that top of the SEC? Is it Texas A&M, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, maybe Tennessee? You know, is it that deep, or is it really only, a couple of those teams? And don't forget Oklahoma. Oklahoma's in there, and John Mateer's injury is going to have a big role to play in that. But like, the ACC looks like it's maybe 3 deep: Georgia Tech, Florida State, Miami. But Florida State doing what it did, big chink in the armor there. So we'll see.
It's a big question mark at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Sure.
Let's be real. Y'all showed up to this video to dunk on us. And that's fine. We both, like I said, we both were occupied with our own games, our own stuff going on. Mm-hmm. But we appreciate you stuck around this long. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. For me and for Chad, this has been the South End Zone. Peace, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen. intent was to come eat and be hungry.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.